one place, your limbs begin to fall asleep. Your mind becomes quite restless and you wanna leave. So snatch up the one you love, take the train, don't forget your glove. Chase the wind, right as fast as you forget to send.
So here we have an Icelandic lamb, Icelandic sheep. It's from Star Thrower Farms, where we went and saw how they make cheese. And because the ewes produce milk and the rams don't, something eventually needs to happen to them. Today we're going to learn how to butcher it. So we're going to start with the back leg. So if you feel the pelvis bone in here, you can cut along the edge. So you have the joint, I'm going to cut around that, and then you can kind of pop it out. And there we have the leg. There's your roast. You have the shank down here. I learned how to butcher from a restaurant in New York called Applewood. Still quite, figuring it out, but there's no better way to figure out how to butcher than by getting yourself an animal and cutting it up and using every part. So you see how it just peels back? It's got all that connective tissue and it's, for some reason, just begging to come off. And there we have the front leg. The meat isn't quite as tender as the back leg. This is great for roast. This is more of a braised kind of meat because it gets a little more action. It's a little less fatty. So my girlfriend is filming this, and she happens to be a vegetarian, so applause to her. I couldn't find anyone else to film. It takes a real spirited veggie to film the butchering of a lamb. So this isn't baby lamb. It's a little bit young, but spring lamb, lambs are born this time of year, but as delicious as their meat is, it's certainly not a very sustainable practice, as you're killing something when it's not really developed yet. I don't have a saw, so I'm going to take the loin out and do an individual loin, which normally you would cut along the ribs and have lamb chops. So what you do is you feel a spine along the top. You want to cut along the spine, because the loin, also known as the back strap when it comes to venison and stuff, is right flowing along this side. So you want to cut along the bone underneath that to keep it intact. So you just cut along the edge and sort of peeling it back to make sure you have every bit of loin. If you see, at this point, your loin is pretty much disconnected from the bone there, and it just kind of slides off. In a minute, we'll cut off the sinew because you don't want to eat any of that. What you have left now on this side is the stomach and what now is the lamb belly, essentially. Always have your knife basically touching against the bones, these bones, because you want to get as much meat as possible. Good piece of lamb belly right there. The tenderloins on the lamb are towards the back end. If you peel off this fat that's around here, you'll see these strips running along here. It is definitely the most tender. And once again, like the loin, it'll just sort of peel off. So we're chopping up the bones. So we roast them and make stock out of them. That works like a charm. So get yourself a heavy-duty cleaver and a regular workman's hammer, and your troubles of cleaving your meat is over. You can cut your things up more, maybe down the middle, you know. So here are your lamb ribs. We're not going to use them as ribs, we're going to use them for stock. Just throw them into the oven. We want it to get nice and brown, caramelize, and get out all that flavor. That however much color you put on the bones will help to make it give it more color in your stock. So it's important to get the sinew off of your loin and off of a lot of your pieces that you're not going to really be braising. So what you do is you get a little piece, get under it a little bit. You just hold on to the back like that, and then move it along. So as you can see, you're just getting that. And voila, you have yourself a loin. Now what I think we should do is take this tenderloin and trim it up and try a little piece. So we have our loin, tenderloin. Because we've been butchering, we deserve to try it. Take a little bit of canola oil, or grapeseed oil, put it in your pan. You want this pan to be extremely hot. So the pan's nice and hot. This is going to be a very fast cook. So then we throw in a little piece of butter, clove of garlic, a little sprig of thyme. It's good. You want to try? Tastes like lamb butter.